Just to recap, so we are talking about central measures of central tendency. We have spoken already about mean and median. Okay, I just want to explain what this symmetric distribution means and what a skewed distribution means. So basically, symmetric distribution is when we have data that looks like this, like it's symmetric, like I can cut it in half, and this side is symmetric to this side. Okay, we see this when we have, remember in the previous video when we're displaying data and we were talking, for example, about stem and stem and leaf plots. We were able to see the distribution of the data. So this is saying, it's not saying that you can't use the median when you have a symmetric distribution. No, it's not saying that. It's saying that the best symmetric central tendency measure to use when you have a symmetric distribution is to use the mean, because most likely the mean and the median are going to be the same when you have this type of data. What does it mean when you have a skewed distribution of data? So that's something when we don't have this and we have something like this. The data is distributed like this or like this. Okay, I remember some examples that we did in the previous video when we saw that the data was concentrated on one side. It's not equivalent. So if I cut it in half, clearly this side is not symmetrical to this side. And the same thing, if I cut it in half, clearly this side is not equal on this side. So they're not symmetrical data. So that's what is called skewed data. But this is going to make more sense when we talk on our next lesson is skewed, and this is symmetrical, when we talk about distribution. Okay, but I just wanted to explain what I mean by this. When you have this type of data, it's recommended that you use the median as the summary central tendency measurement, because your mean is not going to be very accurate. It's going to be, your mean is going to be like around here. It's going to talk about, it's going to go towards where your data is concentrated, and it's not going to talk about the reflection of the whole data. It's going to ignore this bit, or in this case, it's going to ignore this bit. So that's why it's better to use the median. Okay, now why we can't use mean and median when we have categorical data? So let's say that I'm talking about favorite animals in our classroom. How do I add cat plus dog plus fish plus bear? Impossible. So when we're using categorical data, we have to use another central tendency measurement, that is the mode. And you have done this before, girls. What is the mode? The mode is the score or scores that occur most frequently. So it's the fashionable one. I remember always this because in Spanish, mode is moda and moda is fashion. So the is the most fashionable one, the one that occurs the most frequent one. Okay, that's what is the mode. Okay, wonderful. Because I have spoken too much, I'm going to go into the next video to start doing some examples.